presents Real Warship Genius.
Real Warship Genius!
Today, we salute you, player that yells poi.
Wait, what? Better yet, what in the name of Poseidon's deep blue sea is poi?
What is
Poi.
baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt
Anyone that's played Warships long enough has probably seen the word poi pop up at the beginning of a round. In fact, you likely don't have to have been playing long at all. It's nearly a daily occurrence. Someone out there inevitably types poi. Others might jump in, then you have the confused players that ask what poi means. They usually don't get a response, or an answer to the effect of, poi is poi. Very helpful, right? When I first started playing eons ago, I was confused as well. Naive me was wondering why people were talking about food. You see, to me, the only poi I knew of was the Hawaiian word for a Polynesian dish. Wow, these people must really like Polynesian food. Not so. Over time I ignored it. I accepted it for what it was. People got their jollies yelling poi at the beginning of a round. Cool, drive on. However, now that the Shiratsuyu has been released, I think it's time to revisit the subject. I'll get to the aforementioned destroyer later. For now, I have some ground rules. This is not meant to start some sort of prepubescent flame war. I'm not going to get into my opinions on whether this poi movement is good or bad, cool or uncool. People have already been very entrenched in their opinions of it. There are basically 3 categories players fall into. Well, 4 maybe. People who like poi, people who don't know what in the world it is, and people who accept it and just drive on. This video is for the uninitiated, and for those who don't know what poi is, but want to know what exactly poi means. Alright, so after determining players were not shouting out their joy for a Polynesian dish, I decided to do a little research. Poi, as it turns out, is not a Hawaiian word in this context. It's actually Japanese. This makes sense because there are Japanese ships in the game. I will say we did get a Hawaiian flag during one of the ranked seasons, but I digress. In the Japanese language, poi means words like seems like, ish, apparently, or supposedly. It's a fairly common word with multiple meanings based on the context. This still doesn't make sense though, does it? Why would players be yelling ish at the beginning of a game? It's like Alicia Silverstone in Clueless all over again.
As if.
Well, poi really isn't referring to any of those translations. Not directly at least. You have to dig deeper into the meaning of poi. This brings us to the Kantai Collection, better known as Kantai. This is where I need you to be as unbiased as I was in regards to Kantai. I'm not a fan, but I have no issue with those who are. It's a fairly big thing in Japan and across the world. So if you're into that, cool. Anyhow, Kantai. Is this starting to make sense? It kind of explains why we have the Arpeggio ships in game. ARP is part of Kantai. Alright, we're making some headway here. But how does poi fit into this? Kantai is anime. Again, something huge in Japan with a large following across the world. In Kantai, the characters are personifications of Japanese ships. Just as George Washington is my spirit animal, the characters in Kantai represent certain Japanese ships that are in real life. Poi is a catchphrase of one of these characters. Her name in the series is Yudachi. Ding ding ding! There we have it. This is exactly where poi comes from. People that shout poi are basically mimicking a catchphrase of a very popular character from a popular series related to warships. It's basically like if I typed or shouted spoon every time I started a round because I love the tick. Except the tick doesn't personify a World War II era Japanese ship. Now, if you remember, earlier on I mentioned the Shiratsuyu. Yudachi is the personification of Shiratsuyu. The ship itself just entered the line recently. So basically, players actually have more of a reason to shout poi, as the ship it represents, so to speak, is now actually in-game. You'll likely see many Shiratsuyu players shouting poi. Bottom line, regardless of your views on ARP, Kantai, or anime, this is why players are shouting poi. If you're like me and don't really care for anime, all I ask is that you respect those players as long as they're not excessively spamming poi for the sake of annoyance. It's helping them enjoy the game, and it does have meaning. They're having fun, and that's what this is all about, right? Having fun. So there you have it. Poi. It's from anime, it's from Kantai, It's a popular character that has a catchphrase, and that's where it comes from. Anyhow, guys, hope this helps you out. Hope you understand a little more about poi now, where it comes from, and why people say it at the beginning of every single round, it seems. There is a meaning to it. Anyhow, take care, and I'll catch you all later.